Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a nutrition related subject called hunger, right? You ever get hungry? Of course. You ever wonder why you feel the way you feel if you haven't eaten for 4, 5, or 6 hours? We call that hunger. Technically, okay, I'll give it to you. We'll call it hunger. But here's what I do know. And I want to talk to you about the two important things to consider when we're talking about hunger, because we're going to use that definition, right? Of you going, oh man, I really need to eat something after 4 or 5 hours. What is it? What are those two things that we need to be concerned about when we talk about hunger with respect to clients? I'm not talking about world hunger. I'm not talking about malnutrition and lack of the appropriate amount of nourishment that human body needs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this physical feeling that a person has when they haven't eaten in 4, 5, or 6 hours in some cases. So there's two things that are of extreme importance. And let me go ahead and pull up my little whiteboard here for you. And again, what are we talking about? Hunger. And what is hunger? It's, for the most part, what most of us feel is this this sort of physiological manifestation of the stomach doing some weird, odd, bizarre things. You hear this, what's the best way to say this? Sort of a squishy sound. You hear the gurgling, right? You ever sit there? Yeah, now that I think about it, if you ever sit there with somebody and you hear a gurgle, and you look over at them and you're like, what the? And they're like, yeah, I'm hungry. Okay, what is that caused by? Well, generally it's because you have no food in your stomach. And one of the things we have to make sure, and again, we're talking specifically about clients and in general, clients that are trying to lose body fat. Two things happen when you're hungry. And I want to be very specific. It's the way I explain this to my clients. The reason I wrote the word hunger is because I like to draw an equal sign. Hunger equals, well, let me put this in quotes. Hunger equals stupid. Yes, I said it. Hunger equals stupid. And what do I mean by stupid? You know exactly what I mean. When you're hungry, you're going to eat anything, right? Your willpower, your self-control, your discipline goes down the tube, goes down the sewer when you are hungry. And I mean really hungry, where your stomach's empty. It's been empty for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in some cases. And now your body is saying, come on, man, you got to get something in me. Blood sugar levels start to be disrupted. They either go too low or whatever the case is. And then what do? You make dumb decisions. You get stupid. And you get stupid in two ways, okay? The stupid is two things that you do. And what are they? Come on, you know what they are. It's the amount of food that you now eat, right? The amount, and that's amount. And don't be writing, don't be commenting below that I don't know how to write. I do, but I'm using my finger on the laptop. So it's the amount of food, and when you're hungry, you will literally eat way too much than you need to for that particular meal. Okay, you don't need 800 calories. The only reason you're eating 700, 800, 1,000, 1,200 calories is because you are, quote, hungry. And that is disruptive to blood sugar levels. It's disruptive to your endocrine system. Because generally your body doesn't need more than a couple of 100 calories at a shot. And that's one of the reasons why if you eat smaller, multiple meals throughout the day, it's going to actually cause a more regulatory, modulating effect on blood sugar levels and hunger. So that's the first thing that you do is you eat way too much at that particular meal. Why? Because you're starving. Whereas if you had eaten 3 hours, 2.5 hours after your just, let's say, breakfast, if you had just eaten or drank a shake, right, you wouldn't have that overbearing feeling. The stomach would not be so empty that your body is saying, come on, man, get some food. And then you do what? You overeat. That's one reason why you act stupid, right? And then, of course, what's the other one is the type of food, the what, the type of food you eat. Come on, you know as well as I do, because I'll be the first one to do it. If I don't eat, you better keep your hands out of the way because I'll eat your fingers. When I get hungry, man, I just get like, well, that's why I got to eat, often so that I don't get hungry because honestly, I'd rather eat when I'm hungry and I'm in that stupid mode, right? I'm going to eat a hamburger, right? An 80-20 fatty burger, right? Because they taste better than the super duper lean ones like I normally eat. French fries with ketchup, because that's really, really yummy. Or maybe even a chocolate shake. I am gonna just, come on, you know what I'm talking about. So the goal here is to ensure that that doesn't happen because this is what throws your clients off. This is why they cannot maintain a diet. That's why we don't put people on diets. It's one of the worst things you can do for folks, especially in the long term, right? Because the goal is to help people establish an eating pattern where their level of quote hunger is minimal and it occurs generally roughly every 2.5 to 3 hours. But I don't like to eat breakfast, Doug, and my clients don't like to eat breakfast. Oh, I get it. I get it. Well, I didn't ask you what you like to do. I'm telling you what is the best thing for your body is you eat breakfast and eat a decent breakfast, right? With complex carbs, lots of fiber, okay, and protein. By the way, fiber and protein tends to satiate hunger. It tends to reduce your hunger. Proteins for sure. That's why you got to have protein generally at every meal. Have some protein because that will actually extend the length of time where you don't feel as hungry. Fiber does something very similar. Carbohydrates, man, I'm hungry 5 minutes after I eat simple carbs or sugars. That's not even a question. Fat will also, so a little bit of fat in each of your meals will also allow you to kind of put off the feeling of hunger until it's time to eat again. So by the time you are ready to eat your snack 3 hours later, 2.5, 3 hours later, guess what happens? You start to feel a little bit of hunger and then you consume, in this case, a shake, right? And that shake is probably going to be anywhere between 200 to 300. I'm not telling you what the caloric value of a shake is, but it's going to be something similar to that. Look, you eat a meal that has 700 calories, 800 calories, 1,000 calories. Your body's not hungry 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours later. No, your body goes obviously into fat storage mode, postprandial fat storage mode is what it's known as. And now you are going to go 4 hours, 5 hours. The food's out of your stomach, by the way, just so you understand. The food exits the stomach. I don't care how big the meal is. Your body is only going to hold food in the stomach for an hour, hour and a half to, I think, 3 hours. I don't even remember studies I've read where you can have a massive meal and the food might actually stay in the stomach for up to 3 hours. Okay, got it. But for the average person, food is out of the stomach in some cases within an hour, depending on what you're eating and the amount of food that's in there. Once it exits the stomach is going to take a little bit of time before it goes, okay, what's going on? I need some food in here. And then you start getting those hunger pangs. Now, if that happens in 2.5 to 3 hours, perfect. Go ahead and have a small meal. But when you have a 700, 800,000 calorie, 12, and by the way, some of those salads y'all are eating and your clients are eating, and you're putting on all that salad dressing and that oil, you're getting a lot of calories and it's coming from fats. Nothing wrong with fat, but in this case, an additional 300-400 calories just in the oils that you're using or the salad dressings you're using is hugely problematic. Okay. So the idea, again, the kind of the tip here is what we've been talking about and what I've been doing and what I've been teaching clients to do for decades. Yes, I know intermittent fasting, whatever, whatever. Okay. We've been helping people lose body fat like crazy for decades. Okay. Small meals consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month. is still for the most, but depending on whether or not they have some medical condition, we get that. But for the average person, no, multiple meals every 2.5 to 3 hours, still the best way that I have found. And I know it. I know it. Intermittent fasting, ketogenic, this, that, right? Caveman diet, that, whatever. No, folks, when all is said and done, you got to stick with what we know is tried and true, and you can make modifications after that. But I'm going to tell you this, if your clients are getting hungry, they're going to do the dumbest thing. They're going to eat way too much and they're going to eat the wrong food. You keep that in mind. Now, remember, I'm getting off that topic. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new information is coming out. As well, we do have our Body Design University private Facebook group. Get in there and learn about whether you're a personal trainer or not, learn how to be an industry leading personal trainer. Also, if you're not certified, how to become a certified industry leading personal trainer. As always, it's a pleasure. If you got any comments or any questions about this topic or any other, remember, we have a ton of videos on our YouTube channel that you can check out. Comment, let us know how we can be of assistance. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thanks.